Hey guys, I want to give a quick update into what's going on in the trial of Leilani Simon, the accused killer and the mother of 20-month-old Quinton Simon, who was reported missing on the 5th of October 2022. It became quickly evident to cops that Quinton wasn't missing at all, but something really bad had happened to him. So, yesterday began jury selection. Today has been motions hearings, and that's what I want to talk to you about. The jury selection will conclude tomorrow, and then the trial will start proper on Monday. So it's all systems go on Monday for trials. Prosecutors seek to include evidence about drug use and Leilani's mental state. So they want to get this in. This is what's going to be heard at the trial. So today, Thursday, prosecutors sought to include evidence they say shows Leilani's mindset before Quinton was killed. During the motions hearing, the state introduced several pieces of evidence, some of which has been previously ruled irrelevant, as well as a timeline of events. So prosecutors say that Leilani got into a fight on the night of October 4th, 2022 with her boyfriend, Danny, who's the father of her youngest child. She left the home and later returned. At some point that night, she was under the influence of marijuana, Percocet and cocaine. The state argues that Leilani was upset, thinking that Daniel was going off her, fearing he didn't love her anymore. This led to her making a video. This was back in August of 2022, where she said goodbye to her family and implied she was going to take her own life. In court, she was seen wiping tears from her eyes while watching that video. Prosecutors argued the video, as well as Leilani being kicked out of her home by her mother, show she was in an agitated state in the months before Quinton's death. The defence say Leilani's video was a Hail Mary pass by the state and that it's irrelevant, noting no threats were made during the course of the video. So you might say, well, why is that relevant? And that's a good question. Police interviews also played in court where Leilani admitting to taking coke and said it's almost like blackout drinking. The light is on, but no one's home. Okay. The state argued that her drug use is paramount to the events surrounding Quinton's disappearance and death, and I think that's true. Prosecutors also sought to include evidence surrounding Leilani's partying on Tybee Island in the weeks following Quinton's disappearance. Leilani Simon was desperately unhappy, said Assistant District Attorney Jenny Parker. She felt so low and desperate she killed Quinton Simon to be loved. The state brought in two witnesses they believe also corroborate the evidence presented. Melanie Bowling, 28, testified that she met Leilani after her and her then-boyfriend Cody Wharton moved into Bowling's Glenville neighbourhood in 2017. Bowling told attorneys that at the time she saw Leilani as a little sister. Bowling, too, was a teen mom and testified she knew the struggles Leilani was going through as a teen mom herself. After Leilani broke up with Wharton, who's the father of Leilani's first child, Bowling testified that Leilani met Harry Bubba Moss, who later introduced her to what Bowling called hard drugs. Moss is the biological father of Quinton. Once Leilani became pregnant with Quinton, Bowling testified that Moss urged Leilani to get an abortion, which Leilani didn't want to have. Bowling testified that Leilani told her several times, maybe if I didn't have Quinton, I'd still have Bubba. Throughout her testimony, Bowling also detailed several instances where over the phone she heard Leilani verbally and physically abusing Quinton. Meanwhile, Leilani, seated in court with her hair in a ponytail, dressed in a flower print blouse and khaki pants, was shaking her head as if to say no numerous times throughout the questioning. During cross-examination, defence attorney Martin Hilliard questioned Bowling's relationship with Leilani, attempting to prove the pair weren't as close as the testimony would lead one to believe. When questioned, Bowling said her conversation with Leilani went to daily, weekly to monthly, and then every other month until Quinton disappeared. Whilst being questioned by Hilliard, Bowling admitted she never physically met Quinton. The state then brought forward 17-year-old Talia McCarter. She and her family regularly babysat for Quinton and Leilani's other 2 children. McCarter testified she witnessed several instances of abuse towards Quinton and that it seems Leilani favoured her other 2 children over him, even going so far as to say Leilani didn't love Quinton the same as her oldest child or the child's father. The reason this evidence and testimony was heard was so that Judge Tammy Stokes can decide whether it's admissible once the trial begins. Right now, court is in recess as Judge Stokes reviews what is presented to make a decision. That decision can be appealed as late as 5 p.m. Thursday. So it's not 5 p.m. Thursday as I record this, Eastern Time. So this is still ongoing. Court will resume at 4 p.m. It's not even 4 p.m. Eastern as I record this, giving the state enough time to appeal should they need to. Jury selection is going to resume tomorrow. So this is a developing story. Follow for more.